Do you recognize the icons who once rocked the screen? Think again. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on Hollywood, revealing before and after images so shocking that even the most ardent fans will find it hard to believe. Once glamorous icons on the red carpet, they're now just creepy whispers amid shocking scandals. What happened to these familiar faces? Were they victims of unbridled luxury, botched plastic surgery, or simply the cruel ravages of time? Prepare yourself for shocking revelations, untold stories, and tragic moments that prove no one can escape the harshness of the spotlight. Gary Busey. Gary Busey was once a powerhouse of charisma and energy. In his prime, Busey's expressive face was animated and lively. That presence drew audiences to films like The Buddy Holly Story. The films earned him an Oscar nomination in the late 70s. But tragedy struck in 1988. He suffered a motorcycle accident while not wearing a helmet. That left him with a devastating brain injury. That moment marked a permanent turning point. The after effects visibly altered his appearance. His face became hollow. His eyes were more deeply set. His ability to convey emotion through subtle expressions diminished. But the accident wasn't the only struggle Busey faced. He battled unhealthy habits for years. That further compounded the toll on his body and image. It pulled him away from the kind of roles and the level of fame he once commanded. Even so, Gary Busey's impact on film and television remains impressive. He has over 150 credits. He is still remembered fondly by many fans. His journey is a sobering testament to the fragile line between stardom and vulnerability. It shows that even those who reach the peak of Hollywood's heights are not immune to life-changing setbacks. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was the type of actor who could command any room with just a look. His career exploded with unforgettable performances. Think of Top Gun's Iceman or his intense portrayal in The Doors. His distinct, powerful voice became his trademark. But behind the silver screen magic, Kilmer's story took a difficult turn. In 2015, he was diagnosed with throat cancer. It was a devastating blow. It led to extensive medical treatments and surgeries. The effort to beat the illness was grueling. As part of his fight, he underwent a tracheotomy that forever changed his voice. What was once a commanding, resonant tone is now much weaker. It is a constant, audible reminder of what he endured. Sadly, Kilmer's struggles did not end there. On April 1st, 2025, he passed away in Los Angeles at age 65. It was due to complications from pneumonia. His compromised respiratory health worsened the condition. The loss was widely felt. Director Michael Mann remarked on the brilliant variability Kilmer brought to his craft. Tom Cruise honored his memory with a moment of silence at CinemaCon. Fans everywhere revisited his 4 decades of work. They celebrated the unyielding talent behind the man whose appearance and fate were so dramatically altered by illness and the relentless passage of time. Val Kilmer's story is just the beginning. Even more shocking transformations are coming. Watch till the end and comment 1 if you're ready for what's next. Brigitte Bardot. Brigitte Bardot remains one of France's most legendary screen icons. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Bardot was often compared to Marilyn Monroe. She epitomized the effortless allure and style of a bygone era. Bardot's later years have been profoundly shaped by arthritis. It is a condition that steadily eroded her physical vitality. It transformed her once youthful body into a far more fragile version of its former self. The condition made her movements less fluid. Her posture became less upright. She struggled with pain on a daily basis. Layered on top of her health struggles were battles with unhealthy habits and other personal demons. That complicated her career and public persona. In 1973, Bardot stepped away from acting entirely. She dedicated herself to animal rights. She began living a quieter, more secluded life in the south of France. Now at 89, her public appearances are rare. Her once dazzling beauty faded by the inexorable effects of age. Edward Furlong. Edward Furlong's journey from breakout star to troubled adult is one of Hollywood's more poignant cautionary tales. He rocketed to fame as the rebellious, sharp-witted John Connor in Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Furlong once symbolized the bright promise of a new generation of actors. His youthful looks and effortless charm captured millions. But as the years rolled on, a series of personal struggles began to take a visible toll. Furlong grappled with damaging lifestyle choices. He found himself caught in a vortex of negative influences, particularly during what he later described as a terrifying period in his early 20s. Those challenges left deep marks, not just emotionally but physically. His health and appearance began to deteriorate. As his legal and personal troubles mounted, so did the changes to his image. The one-time golden boy turned into a cautionary figure. Yet, despite hitting rock bottom, Furlong's story took a hopeful turn. In 2021, he revealed he'd been clean for 3 years. He was focused on recovery and rebuilding his career. While his appearance still carries the scars of his difficult past, Furlong's resilience and determination shine through. Who is this 90s Hollywood icon? The early 2000s marked a sudden, perplexing vanishing act from one of the era's most beloved actresses. She was a performer celebrated for her roles in Single White Female and Jackie Brown. For years, her striking elegance and magnetic presence left a vivid impression on audiences and critics alike. Then, without much warning, she stepped away from acting. She chose instead the quiet company of her husband, acclaimed composer Danny Elfman. She stayed far from Hollywood's relentless eye. This exit sparked endless speculation. Was it the result of a devastating car crash in 2003 that fractured her vertebrae? Or did the relentless demands and pressures of Hollywood simply prove too much to bear? Regardless, the once glamorous star has since become almost impossible to recognize. Her present-day appearance is sharply at odds with the youthful, polished image she once projected on red carpets and magazine covers. Recent paparazzi photos reignited debate. Was this just the natural, unavoidable march of time? Or had she, as some critics claimed, let herself go? Can you identify this 90s icon before her name is revealed? Chime in below with your best guess and see if you're right. Carrot Top. Carrot Top, known to his family and close friends as Scott Thompson, first exploded into the American comedy scene in the 1990s. He was an instantly recognizable figure thanks to his riotous red hair, explosive stage energy, and ingenious use of props. Over time, Carrot Top's transformation became almost as famous as his punchlines. He began adopting a more muscular look. What really raised eyebrows was the drastic change to his face. Today, his features are markedly different. He has unusually pronounced cheekbones, tight skin, and wide, striking eyes. Many observers believe these are the result of repeated cosmetic procedures. The shift is so pronounced that longtime fans often express shock or concern. Some suggest he may have pursued improvements a bit too aggressively. Despite the chatter, Carrot Top has never shied away from public life. He continues to perform tirelessly. He appears on stages across America. For him, the ability to make people laugh far outweighs any debate about looks. His resilience in the face of criticism is a reminder. For some entertainers, the spotlight's harshest judgments matter less than the enduring joy they bring their audience, no matter how unorthodox their journey might appear. Joan Van Ark. Joan Van Ark was famed for her unforgettable turn as Valene Ewing on the television phenomenon Dallas. She was once heralded for her delicate, classic beauty and sharp, expressive features. During the 1980s, her flawless skin and vibrant eyes epitomized a Hollywood standard that countless others aspired to reach. Yet, as years went by, Van Ark's commitment to maintaining her youthful appearance led her down a path of extensive aesthetic procedures. Unfortunately, these efforts backfired in dramatic fashion. Repeated interventions left her skin overly taut and stretched. Her lips became unusually plump. Her chin was markedly altered. This created a visage that many critics described as nearly unrecognizable compared to her prime. The radical changes not only cost her the natural beauty that helped launch her career, but also opened her up to harsh public scrutiny and, at times, cruel ridicule. Ultimately, these pressures drove Van Ark to retreat from the limelight. She now lives quietly, away from the Hollywood scene that once adored her. Her story stands as a stark lesson about the risks inherent in the relentless pursuit of youth. It also shows the potential for irreversible change when chasing a perfection that can never truly be recaptured. Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is a name synonymous with Hollywood greatness. She was an actress, fitness guru, and activist. Yet, even for a superstar of her stature, the effort to maintain her image came with consequences. Now 86, Fonda's appearance bears the unmistakable imprint of both time and medical interventions. Multiple cosmetic procedures have left their marks. Sometimes they complicated her health and added a new layer of challenge to an already storied life. She has also endured major battles with illnesses such as osteoporosis. She has demonstrated a resilience that goes far deeper than surface beauty. Despite these obstacles, Fonda remains a symbol of optimism and vitality. She carved out a career as iconic as any in film history. Beginning in the 1960s, she enchanted audiences with her confidence, grace, and bold screen presence. She was never more so than in the cult classic Barbarella. Over the decades, Fonda racked up countless accolades, including 2 Academy Awards. Today, she developed a reputation for fearlessly reinventing herself. She is still engaged in activism and still uses her platform to fight for causes she believes in. Living in Los Angeles, she reminds us all that the real essence of beauty and power is something cultivated from within, regardless of what the years or the cameras might say. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman was once a poster child for 1980s youth culture. He rose to fame on the back of films like The Goonies, Stand By Me, and The Lost Boys. His early career shimmered with promise. His boyish grin and exuberant energy won over audiences and critics alike. But Feldman's rise was shadowed by profound personal struggles that would eventually become all too visible in his appearance. Years of grappling with unhealthy lifestyle choices, combined with deep emotional turmoil, took a toll that even the most skilled Hollywood makeup artist could not disguise. The toll on his health became especially pronounced in recent years. He publicly revealed his battles with thyroid disease and other ailments. These compounded the visible effects of stress and time. Now, Feldman's appearance is dramatically different from the vibrant, youthful image that made him a star. His face has grown gaunter. The light in his eyes is dimmer. The marks of age are unmistakable. This transformation serves as a stark visual record of the price exacted by fame, relentless work, and the shadows that sometimes accompany childhood stardom. Still, Feldman continues to perform and share his story. He offers hope that survival, however imperfect, is itself a victory. Melanie Griffith. Melanie Griffith was once the darling of Hollywood. Her star power was cemented by performances like the ambitious Tess McGill in Working Girl. But behind the scenes, Griffith fought a long and arduous battle with unhealthy habits. Choices that ultimately reshaped not only her life, but her appearance as well. Faced with the additional pressures of Hollywood's obsession with youth, she turned to cosmetic enhancements. These included facelifts and other treatments, in a bid to hold on to her signature look. Unfortunately, the interventions often had the opposite effect. They left her face visibly altered and at times unnaturally tight and stiff. By the time she appeared at the 77th Golden Globe Awards in January 2020, the changes were impossible to ignore. She had deep wrinkles, a faded glow, and a sense of weariness that stood in stark contrast to her energetic screen persona. Griffith's story is a poignant illustration of how personal challenges, compounded by the relentless glare of celebrity, can dramatically reshape even the most dazzling of stars. Courtney Love. Courtney Love has always been a figure impossible to ignore. She burst onto the rock scene in the 1990s as the frontwoman for Hole. She embodied the raw, untamed spirit of grunge. Her beauty was unconventional and magnetic, but the decades since have been marked by turbulence. Love's public struggles with addiction, legal battles, and personal tragedy have played out under the harshest of spotlights. As the years wore on, her appearance underwent drastic change. Her once youthful visage was replaced by features many fans now find unfamiliar. Cosmetic surgeries, combined with the scars of a wild life, have left her face looking dramatically different. She is nearly unrecognizable to those who remember the golden MTV era. Critics often cite her journey as a cautionary tale about the high price of fame. Supporters see a survivor who refuses to be defined by adversity. Whatever side you land on, Love's influence is undeniable. Her fearless lyrics, bold stage presence, and advocacy for women's rights remain as relevant today as ever. Her physical transformation, for better or worse, is just one chapter in a story defined by survival, reinvention, and a refusal to conform. Faye Dunaway. Faye Dunaway rose to fame as one of the most striking faces of the late 1960s and 70s. She turned in unforgettable performances in films like Bonnie and Clyde and Chinatown. With her chiseled cheekbones and icy beauty, she seemed destined to defy the effects of time. But Dunaway's journey has been as complex as the characters she portrayed. In her later years, Dunaway's attempts to stave off aging through cosmetic procedures and lifestyle changes yielded mixed results. The actress's face, once a study in classic Hollywood glamour, gradually changed. Her features became sharper, her lines became deeper. The old allure was replaced by a visage that left some fans stunned. By '83, Dunaway had largely retreated from public life. Her acting career, spanning over 100 films, seemed concluded. Reports suggest declining health. Public sightings are rare. Dunaway's transformation is a vivid reflection of the interplay between relentless ambition, the harsh demands of beauty and show business, and the inescapable effects of time. Kim Basinger. Kim Basinger captivated audiences from the moment she burst onto the scene. She was first a high-fashion model in the 1970s. Then she became a silver screen siren through the 1980s and 90s. Her icy blonde beauty became the gold standard for Hollywood glamour. However, Basinger's career and personal life were marked by as many challenges as triumphs. Her attempt to buy the entire town of Brazelton, Georgia in 1993 resulted in financial catastrophe. It culminated in bankruptcy and years of legal and economic hardship. These setbacks, combined with the pressures of staying relevant in a youth-obsessed industry, contributed to dramatic changes in her appearance. The natural beauty that defined her early roles was gradually supplanted by signs of both aging and likely cosmetic interventions. There were subtle shifts in facial structure. There was a loss of softness around the eyes. There was an overall look that seemed less at ease in the spotlight. Today, Basinger appears in public only rarely. Her health and lifestyle no longer draw the attention they once did. While her current image is a far cry from her heyday, her film legacy remains untouchable. She has over 40 credits, ensuring that the world will never forget the complex, enigmatic star she once was. Rod Stewart. With his spiky blonde hair, cheeky grin, and flashy wardrobe, Stewart was as much a style trendsetter as he was a musical legend. He won fans worldwide with chart-topping hits like Maggie May and Do You Think I'm Sexy? But as the years accumulated, even Stewart could not outpace time's relentless march. Decades of late-night gigs, a high-octane lifestyle, and the physical toll of constant touring gradually began to show in his face and frame. The youthful vigor that once defined his stage presence gave way to pronounced wrinkles, sagging skin, and a more weathered appearance. All of this made his transformation particularly striking to longtime fans. Health concerns added another layer of complexity. Stewart has publicly battled serious issues including cancer and heart troubles. These forced him to reconsider both his professional pace and personal choices. While his legendary stamina is diminished, Stewart's passion for performance remains intact. He still graces the stage, though less frequently, pouring the same emotion into his music as ever before. His evolving appearance is a testament not only to a life lived with intensity, but to the reality that even the boldest stars must contend with the inevitable. Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson became an international phenomenon in the 1990s. She transformed from Playboy model to household name almost overnight, thanks to her unforgettable stint on Baywatch. With her sun-kissed hair, signature red swimsuit, and bold charisma, Anderson was the embodiment of California cool and global sex appeal. Yet, even the most iconic images cannot withstand the persistent effects of time, lifestyle, and personal hardship. Her career was plagued by relentless public scrutiny, tumultuous relationships, and health challenges, including a public battle with hepatitis C. Additionally, the cumulative effects of cosmetic surgeries, a fast-paced lifestyle, and widely publicized personal issues began to manifest physically. The vibrant features that made her instantly recognizable slowly gave way to more pronounced lines, altered contours, and an overall shift in appearance that some found nearly unrecognizable compared to her peak. Now in her late 50s, Anderson continues to make occasional appearances. Her days of constant paparazzi pursuit are largely over. Nevertheless, her enduring spirit, activism, and status as a cultural touchstone keep her relevant. Anderson's striking transformation is a testament to the complex interplay between fame, personal choice, and the unstoppable march of age. It reminds everyone that no public image, however legendary, is immune to change. Enjoying this video? Like and subscribe for more. Not feeling it? A like would still be appreciated, and your comments will help me do better next time. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger, the electrifying frontman of the Rolling Stones, has spent more than half a century commanding stages across the globe. Jagger's 1960s and 70s prime was defined by world tours, studio albums, and a pace of living that few could match or survive. But the toll of living in the fast lane became increasingly apparent as Jagger entered his 70s. Health scares, including heart valve replacement surgery in 2019, forced the legend to reckon with his own mortality and adapt his once untouchable routine. The visible signs of aging, deeper wrinkles, thinner hair, and a more delicate posture are now apparent to all. This is a stark contrast to the vibrant figure who once danced and strutted with abandon. Despite these changes, Jagger's resilience is nothing short of extraordinary. He continues to perform, adapt, and inspire. He shows the world that while time might change the body, it cannot dampen the spirit of true artistry. Elton John. Elton John, with his flamboyant costumes, oversized glasses, and irrepressible showmanship, became an icon of the 1970s music scene and beyond. Behind the glitter, however, was a man fighting fierce private battles. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Elton struggled openly with addiction and other destructive behaviors. These problems threatened not only his career but also his health and appearance. Eventually, these hardships forced a reckoning. Elton chose to transform his lifestyle. He embarked on a path to sobriety and greater well-being. Now, in his late 70s, the effects of both his past excesses and his more recent efforts at self-care are evident. His once youthful face now displays the gentle weathering of age. The physical exuberance of earlier performances has been replaced by a steadier, more reflective stage presence. Nevertheless, Elton remains highly active in music and philanthropy. He continues to collect awards and accolades while mentoring new generations of artists. His transformation is as much about inner growth as outward change. It is an inspiring narrative that underscores the value of resilience and the power of second chances. Richard Dean Anderson. Richard Dean Anderson won the world over as the quick-thinking, all-American hero in MacGyver. During the show's heyday in the 1980s and early 90s, Anderson's healthy, boyish looks and charming wit made him a beloved television staple. But as the decades rolled by, Anderson's transformation became quietly apparent. Although he made efforts to maintain his health, the inescapable effects of aging began to show. He had thinner features, more pronounced wrinkles, and a general shift in energy. No longer the poster child for action hero fitness, Anderson gradually faded from the public eye. He chose instead to devote his time to personal pursuits and charitable causes. He rarely makes appearances now. When he does, the contrast to his MacGyver persona is striking. Nevertheless, for millions of fans, the clever, resourceful hero from TV's golden age remains alive in memory, untouched by the changes of the real world. Anderson's journey illustrates that while fame may be fleeting, the positive impact of a single iconic role can endure long after youth and the spotlight have moved on. Teri Hatcher. Hatcher's fresh-faced beauty and expressive charm won her legions of fans. But living under the constant gaze of Hollywood's harsh spotlight took its toll. Over the years, Hatcher's appearance changed. Lines deepened. The fullness of youth faded. Speculation mounted that she may have turned to aesthetic procedures, though she has always denied it. While she continued to attend industry events and remain active in the public eye, her star no longer shone quite as brightly as it once did. The shifting contours of her face, particularly the deeper lines around her eyes and mouth, are a reminder that no one, however accomplished or admired, can avoid the realities of aging. Still, Hatcher's career and resilience are proof that the truest beauty lies in embracing the journey, not just the destination. Her visible transformation tells a universal story about the pressure to preserve youth and the dignity that comes from letting go. Toya Jackson. Toya Jackson, a member of the legendary Jackson family, once shone with a natural, effortless grace that made her stand out even among superstars. But Toya's relationship with fame has been anything but simple. Over time, she underwent a series of cosmetic procedures, most notably rhinoplasty and other facial modifications, that transformed her look so dramatically that it often sparked comparisons to her brother Michael. The allure of her youth gave way to an appearance that some now describe as rigid and overly sculpted. This change has been the subject of endless speculation and tabloid headlines, but Toya's story runs much deeper than skin-deep critiques. Raised in a world of strict expectations and public scrutiny, she endured both a turbulent marriage and long periods of personal hardship, often with little support. Yet, instead of vanishing from the spotlight, Toya re-emerged on her own terms. She built a new identity through reality TV, advocacy, and candid self-reflection. She speaks openly about her choices. She refuses to let others define her. The public's endless debate about her face is a distraction from her real journey. It is a journey of resilience, survival, and a hard-won sense of self-worth. In many ways, Toya Jackson is a symbol of both the cost and the complexity of fame. She walks a tightrope between visibility and authenticity. She is judged by the world, but ultimately answers only to herself. Teddi Mellencamp. Teddi Mellencamp, known for her role on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, has been battling skin cancer. She has undergone multiple surgeries to remove more than a dozen malignant tumors, and the fight isn't over. On September 20th, 2023, a routine checkup uncovered another cancerous growth. That night, Teddi shared that she had trouble sleeping, struggling with anxiety and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. She met the diagnosis with resilience, honesty, and determination. Teddi's experience highlights the indiscriminate nature of this disease. Her story encourages awareness, particularly through celebrity interviews, where her openness has had a profound impact. She stresses the vital importance of early detection in saving lives. Teddi's strength lies not only in her surgeries and scars, but also in the hope she extends to others. Her bravery, willingness to speak out, and unwavering advocacy for prioritizing health have elevated her beyond her reality TV persona, making her a voice for survival. Melanie Griffith. Melanie Griffith has spent much of her life in the public eye, but few moments were as vulnerable as the one she shared in 2018. After being diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common yet dangerous form of skin cancer, she underwent treatment to remove a cancerous spot from her nose. Instead of hiding it, Melanie posted a raw, unfiltered selfie with a bandage across her face, revealing the aftermath of a dermabrasion procedure. But that image wasn't just a health update, it was a warning. Griffith used her platform to speak out about the dangers of sun exposure and the urgency of early detection. "Don't ignore suspicious spots and don't wait," she urged her followers. Her voice carried weight, not just because of her fame, but because of her honesty. Melanie's message is simple but crucial. Don't wait until it's too late to take action. Her scars now serve as a badge of strength and a wake-up call to anyone who still takes the sun for granted. Khloe Kardashian. In 2022, Khloe Kardashian shared a personal experience that resonated deeply within the Hollywood community. What began as a small bump on her cheek, initially dismissed as a minor skin issue, evolved into a more serious concern. After delaying medical attention for 7 months, she finally sought a professional evaluation, leading to the diagnosis of a tumor requiring immediate removal. This marked her second encounter with skin cancer. Previously, at the age of 19, Khloe underwent surgery to remove a malignant growth from her back, serving as an early indication of her skin's susceptibility. Despite consistently using sunscreen and taking care of her overall health, this recent scare highlighted that even renowned figures are not exempt from health challenges. Khloe now leverages her influence to promote skin cancer awareness, encouraging routine skin checks and emphasizing the importance of addressing potential warning signs. Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton has graced Hollywood screens for decades, but behind the iconic hats and timeless charm is a long, personal battle with skin cancer. Her first diagnosis came shockingly early at just 21 years old. In a 2015 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Keaton revealed that she's survived skin cancer not once, but twice. For Keaton, the fight runs in the family. Her father, her brother, and even her Aunt Martha were all affected by the same disease. But back in her 20s, she admits she didn't give sun protection a second thought. SPF? She barely knew what it was, and says ignoring it was one of the biggest mistakes of her life. It wasn't until her 40s that the reality finally hit. She changed everything. Now she won't step outside without sunscreen in her bag, and her wardrobe reflects a deliberate choice to shield her skin from further damage. Hugh Jackman. Beyond his commanding presence on screen and portrayal of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman has been engaged in a prolonged health battle, having faced skin cancer on 6 separate occasions. Since his initial diagnosis in 2013, the actor has undergone numerous procedures to remove cancerous spots, transforming his personal health struggle into a broader public health message. In April 2023, following another procedure to remove a suspicious spot, Hugh used his Instagram platform to urge his followers to prioritize sunscreen use, regardless of the season. His advice served as a critical reminder of the importance of early protection. His message resonated with many, particularly those living in regions with high UV exposure. Having grown up in Australia, Jackman admitted he seldom used sunscreen during his childhood. This oversight ultimately contributed to his later health challenges. However, he has remained transparent about his experience, utilizing each surgery and scar as a means of educating others. His health journey serves as a reminder of the significance of proactive health management. By April 2023, fans were relieved to hear that Hugh's most recent biopsy results came back negative. He used this opportunity to reinforce the importance of prevention, advocating for early detection, routine skin examinations, and consistent sun protection. His dedication has transformed him into an advocate, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing health. Jackman's message resonates globally, but what about you? From where are you viewing this? Share your location in the comments and let's see how far this message can reach. Christie Brinkley. Even supermodels are not immune to skin cancer. In late March 2023, Christie Brinkley disclosed that she had a basal cell carcinoma removed from her face, a reminder that danger can hide in plain sight. She made the announcement with her characteristic charm, expressing gratitude to her doctors while joking, They stitched me up like a custom-made Dior dress. However, beneath the humor was a serious message. Christie admitted to delaying medical attention, which could have altered the outcome. Her advice? Don't procrastinate. It's a warning that hit home for many, especially those who overlook subtle changes in their skin. Now a vocal advocate for prevention, Christie has transformed her personal scare into a public mission. She emphasizes the importance of SPF 30 and protecting the skin with long sleeves and wide-brimmed hats. Her story cuts through the noise of red carpet fashion, showing that beauty fades fast when health is ignored. Christie's message is simple but unforgettable. Take skin cancer seriously, because even a small delay can come at a massive cost. Jimmy Buffett. In 2023, the world lost more than a music legend. It lost a spirit of sunshine and escape. Jimmy Buffett, the beloved tropical rock icon, passed away after a quiet yet relentless battle with a rare and aggressive skin cancer known as Merkel cell carcinoma. This fast-growing disease often goes unnoticed, appearing as harmless skin-toned or discolored lumps, catching victims completely off guard. While Buffett never publicly shared his diagnosis, his sister, Lori Buffett McGuane, later revealed that he had been privately battling the illness since 2019. His silence heightened the shock. Fans began to speculate when he canceled several performances, an unusual occurrence for a man known for his dedication to entertaining. Buffett's journey highlights that even the most vibrant stars can be affected by illness. His story resonated within the Hollywood community, not due to scandal, but because of his hidden struggle. He brought joy to so many people, Lori said, and she was right. Andy Cohen. In 2020, Bravo host Andy Cohen made a surprising revelation on Jenny McCarthy's Sirius XM show. He had been diagnosed with melanoma. It all started with a small, dark spot on his lip. He ignored it at first, brushing it off as nothing serious. But that silence nearly became a deadly mistake. It wasn't until longtime friend Kelly Ripa stepped in that things changed. She urged him to get it checked immediately, warning, "That looks like skin cancer." She was right. That one moment of concern may have saved his life. For Cohen, the diagnosis hit hard. Known for his love of tanning and sun-kissed appearances, he realized those habits had come at a steep price. After undergoing treatment, Cohen turned his lifestyle upside down. The sun-chasing days were over. Skin protection became his new obsession. In a world obsessed with red carpet fashion, Cohen's transformation serves as a stark reminder. What's glamorous on the outside can sometimes hide a dangerous reality underneath. His story isn't just a health scare, it's a life-altering lesson in listening to those who care, and never ignoring your body's warnings. Brooke Shields. In 2009, Brooke Shields faced a terrifying wake-up call. What seemed like an ordinary mole on her face turned out to be precancerous, and the diagnosis rattled her. For someone who had spent years under both studio lights and the sun, it was a moment of realization that skin damage doesn't always show up right away. Like many of her generation, Shields admitted she didn't grasp the dangers of sun exposure when she was younger. Growing up in New York, she and her friends would sunbathe on rooftops, chasing the perfect tan without knowing the long-term cost. She believed beach sunburns were the only threat, not the casual, everyday sun that would leave its mark decades later. That scare changed everything. Brooke became hyper-aware of the damage already done and the steps needed to protect what remained. Her experience is a powerful reminder that sun damage is cumulative, and stopping the habit doesn't erase past exposure. Now a vocal advocate for skin health, Shields hopes her story resonates far beyond Hollywood gossip, especially for those still ignoring the quiet dangers of tanning culture. Did Brooke Shields' wake-up call make you rethink how dangerous the sun really is? Type yes if her story changed your perspective, or no if you think the risks are still exaggerated. Let's see where everyone stands in the comments. Ariana Madix. Back in 2018, reality TV star Ariana Madix dropped what seemed like a minor health update on Instagram. a quiet mention of removing a piece of cancer and undergoing a lymph node biopsy. But behind that calm post was a terrifying truth. Madix was battling melanoma, one of the deadliest skin cancers. Doctors had brushed off her concerns for years, assuring her everything was fine. But something didn't sit right. She kept pushing for answers, and that determination may have saved her life. When the cancer was finally caught, it was already stage 1, meaning the clock was ticking. In a celebrity interview with the Skin Cancer Foundation in 2023, she revealed the chilling detail. The tumor had likely been growing for much longer than anyone realized. Thankfully, it hadn't spread. Immediate surgery followed, along with a biopsy to confirm the cancer hadn't reached her lymphatic system. Since then, Madix has transformed her trauma into purpose. She's now a vocal advocate for early detection, sun protection, and self-advocacy. Her warning is crystal clear. Melanoma doesn't always come with symptoms, but its consequences can be life-changing. Her story is a wake-up call and a reminder that even under the lights of Hollywood gossip, real battles often go unseen. Ewan McGregor. In 2008, Ewan McGregor stunned fans with a quiet yet shocking revelation. He had undergone surgery to remove 2 cancerous moles from his face. One of them was alarmingly close to his eye. The discovery came during a routine health check, a visit he never expected would change everything. Doctors urged him to act fast, and that advice may have saved his life. Known for his unforgettable roles in Moulin Rouge and Star Wars, McGregor's image has long been one of fearless adventure, whether crossing continents on a motorcycle or commanding the screen with intensity. But this close brush with skin cancer exposed a rarely seen vulnerability. Far from just a Hollywood heartthrob, McGregor is a father of 5, a dedicated humanitarian, and a proud voice for Scottish heritage. Facing cancer didn't weaken his image, it added depth. It reminded audiences that even those we admire most are fighting unseen battles behind the scenes. Witney Carson. At just 19, Witney Carson was living her dream, dazzling audiences on Dancing with the Stars and rising fast as one of America's most promising performers. But just as the spotlight found her, a shadow crept in. Doctors diagnosed her with melanoma, a dangerous form of skin cancer that no one saw coming. The news hit like a punch to the gut. Carson, the picture of strength and vitality, was suddenly facing a life-altering diagnosis. Still, she chose to keep it a secret. Not even the show's producers or her dance partners knew. While cameras captured her grace and energy, behind the scenes she quietly underwent surgery, removing both a mole and multiple lymph nodes in a desperate effort to stop the disease from spreading. The pressure to seem unstoppable was overwhelming, but beneath the glitz and red carpet fashion, Witney was fighting a hidden war. Years later, she opened up about the toll it took, the emotional strain of pretending to be invincible while grappling with something so terrifying and real. Her comeback became more than just a return to stage. It was a message. Carson now uses her voice to urge others to trust their instincts, take their health seriously, and never let silence stand in the way of survival. Richard Tyler Blevins. In March 2024, the gaming world was shaken when Richard Tyler Blevins, better known as Ninja, opened up about a deeply personal and unexpected battle. At just 32, the streaming sensation revealed he had been diagnosed with melanoma, a fast-moving form of skin cancer, discovered during a routine skin check. The warning sign? A suspicious mole on the bottom of his foot, spotted not by a doctor but by his wife, Jessica. Her gut feeling turned out to be life-saving. Doctors removed the mole and ran tests. The result? Melanoma. And that wasn't all. A second suspicious spot nearby was also taken out just to be safe. Thankfully, the cancer was caught early before it had the chance to spread. But the scare was real, and Ninja didn't stay silent. He took to social media to deliver a blunt, powerful message to his massive audience. Don't wait. Get checked. Take your skin seriously. In an industry focused on lights, fame, and celebrity interviews, Ninja's raw honesty stood out. Kevin Jonas. In June 2024, Kevin Jonas stunned fans by posting a video that revealed far more than just another day at the clinic. Calm but serious, the Jonas Brothers star pointed to a small spot on his forehead and said the words no one expected. It's skin cancer. At just 37, Kevin had been diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, the most common yet often ignored type of skin cancer. Thanks to early detection, he underwent surgery to have the tumor removed. But instead of keeping the ordeal private, he chose to share it with the world, turning a frightening diagnosis into a life-saving message. His video didn't just raise awareness, it shattered the illusion that fame shields anyone from real-life threats. From pop sensation to father of two and business leader, Kevin Jonas showed that vulnerability is not weakness, it's power. Erotic. In May 2024, fans were stunned when former U.S. Open champion Andy Roddick revealed a battle he had quietly carried for years, skin cancer. Since retiring in 2012, Roddick had kept his condition private. But on the Served podcast, he finally broke his silence. He described multiple procedures, including the removal of squamous cell carcinoma from his lip, and more recently, laser treatments to combat deep sun damage. Those unexplained red spots and facial inflammation fans once speculated about? Now we know the truth. Roddick isn't asking for sympathy. What he wants is impact. He's using his platform to issue a warning, especially to young athletes and parents. Long hours under the sun can leave invisible scars that surface years later. In the spotlight of Hollywood gossip, many focus on fame, not health. But Roddick's message is sharp and clear. The sun is no joke. Protect yourself. Catch it early. Because sometimes the toughest match you'll ever face is the one inside your own body. Richard Simmons. On March 20th, fitness legend Richard Simmons broke years of silence with a gut-wrenching confession. He's been battling skin cancer. In a heartfelt Facebook post, Simmons revealed he had found a strange lump just beneath his right eye. Something felt off. Trusting his instincts, he went to a dermatologist, and the news was grim. Basal cell carcinoma. The next steps were immediate and brutal. Without anesthesia, doctors began burning the cancer cells directly off his skin, using a small instrument. Simmons described the searing pain in raw detail. The burning sensation was really painful. But worse, it didn't work the first time. Some cancer cells remained, forcing him to endure another round. No tears, just grit. Simmons returned for the second treatment with quiet determination, refusing to let fear define him. And in true theatrical spirit, he signed off with 3 haunting words, to be continued. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner stunned fans with a quiet but powerful Instagram post, a close-up photo showing her nose wrapped in a red bandage. Her caption was short, but the message rang loud. Recently, I had to remove some sun damage on my nose. PSA: always wear sunscreen. It was later confirmed that the spot was basal cell carcinoma, a common yet serious form of skin cancer linked to years of sun exposure. Jenner didn't share all the details, but the image spoke for itself. As a former Olympic gold medalist and longtime public figure, Jenner spent countless hours outdoors, training, golfing, and living under the California sun. That lifestyle, though inspiring, came with hidden risks. Her experience is a chilling reminder that skin cancer can strike anyone, and what looks like a small blemish could be something far more dangerous. Jenner's post stripped everything down to what really matters: your health. A single image, a simple warning, and a truth too important to ignore. Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, the Oscar-winning powerhouse, isn't just a legend on screen. She's a 2-time cancer survivor who turned her pain into purpose. In 2003, Bates was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She underwent surgery and chemotherapy and won the fight. But nearly a decade later, in 2012, life dealt her another devastating blow: breast cancer. This time, she made a bold decision. She chose a double mastectomy. But the battle didn't end there. The removal of 19 lymph nodes triggered a long-term condition: lymphedema in both arms. It was painful, limiting, and permanent. Still, Bates didn't back down. Through lifestyle changes, she dropped 80 pounds, committed to a healthier diet, and began managing her condition with compression garments. She didn't just survive, she became a warrior for others. As a national spokesperson for the Lymphatic Education and Research Network, Bates now uses her voice for those who are often overlooked. Her mantra? "We have lymphedema, but we are not have lymphedema." At 76, she's still commanding screens, still fighting, and still inspiring millions. Harry Jowsey. In 2024, reality TV star Harry Jowsey, known from Too Hot to Handle and Dancing with the Stars, took to TikTok with a serious and unexpected update. He had been diagnosed with skin cancer. There was no dramatic buildup, just a raw admission. "There's really no easy way to say this," he told his fans. During a recent checkup driven by his own gut feeling, doctors found a suspicious spot on his shoulder. It had been sitting there, unnoticed, for over a year. The diagnosis stunned him. Still, Jowsey kept his cool. He assured his followers he'd be okay, but his message was urgent. Protect your skin. Check yourself. Don't wait. In his laid-back, cheeky style, he added, "If you're a freckled little frog like me, map out your moles and get checked." Underneath the humor was a hard truth. Skin cancer can strike anyone, young, healthy, and seemingly invincible. On a scale from 1 to 9, how shocked were you by Harry Jowsey's cancer battle? 1 equals saw it coming. 9 equals completely blindsided and heartbroken. Drop your number in the comments and tell us why. Let's see who really paid attention. Rosie O'Donnell. In September 2024, Rosie O'Donnell noticed something small, a lump near her left eye that had begun to crust over. It didn't look serious at first, but her instincts told her otherwise. After getting it checked, the diagnosis came: basal cell carcinoma, a common but serious form of skin cancer. Fortunately, it was caught early. Surgery followed swiftly, and Rosie has since made a full recovery. But instead of moving on quietly, she took to social media to sound the alarm. She urged her followers to examine their skin regularly, warning that even the smallest red bump or patchy spot can carry dangerous consequences. This isn't Rosie's first health scare. She previously survived a heart attack in 2012 and faced a breast cancer scare in 2010. Through it all, she's used her platform not just for entertainment, but to educate and inspire. Janelle Brown. In 2021, Sister Wives star Janelle Brown noticed what looked like a fading scar on her upper lip, something she assumed was just an old cold sore. But when she finally had it checked, the diagnosis was more serious: basal cell carcinoma. It wasn't considered aggressive, but it was still a form of skin cancer. She underwent surgery and made a full recovery. Or so it seemed. Fast forward to March 2024. During a routine skin exam, doctors found 2 more precancerous spots and a new tumor growing on her lip. This time, the tumor was removed again, and the suspicious areas were treated with cryotherapy before they could develop into something worse. Janelle didn't stay silent. She took to social media to share every step, turning her private struggle into a public lesson in prevention. Despite being vigilant with sunscreen, she reminded fans that regular skin checks are non-negotiable. Jessie Sarah Ferguson. In June 2023, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, faced a life-altering diagnosis: early-stage breast cancer discovered during a routine checkup. She quickly underwent a mastectomy and reconstructive surgery, but what happened next sent another shockwave. During the operation, doctors removed several moles for analysis. One of them revealed something even more alarming: melanoma. Just months later, in January 2024, Sarah received her second cancer diagnosis. Further surgery followed to remove surrounding tissue and test her lymph nodes. The relief came when results confirmed the cancer hadn't spread. She didn't require chemotherapy or immunotherapy, but she now faces ongoing skin treatments and constant medical surveillance. She called it a bombshell, a moment that shook her to the core, but with unwavering support from her daughters, she fought back and won. By May 2024, Princess Beatrice confirmed that Sarah had fully recovered and was thriving at 64. Tyler Ferguson. In 2015, Modern Family star Jesse Tyler Ferguson received news that would change his life. He had skin cancer. A tumor was found on his face, and he quickly underwent surgery to have it removed. He didn't keep the experience quiet. Instead, he went public, sharing a candid post on Instagram thanking his doctor for removing the cancer from my face. With his signature wit, he even joked that the makeup team on Modern Family had their work cut out for them, hiding his post-op stitches. But beneath the humor was a serious warning. Ferguson, a redhead with fair skin, used his platform to emphasize the danger for people with sensitive skin tones, urging them to wear sunscreen and, more importantly, to never skip a skin check. This wasn't a one-time scare. Ferguson revealed that with every exam, doctors usually remove a bit of skin to test. That routine checkup is exactly how his cancer was caught. Cybill Shepherd. In 2002, moonlighting star Cybill Shepherd discovered something alarming: a rough, scaly patch on her back that didn't go away. Trusting her instincts, she went straight to the doctor. The diagnosis: a rare and dangerous form of skin cancer called dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans, or DFSP. Shepherd underwent surgery to remove the tumor, a procedure that left a noticeable scar. To help hide it, she later chose to undergo cosmetic surgery. But the physical scars were just one part of the story. The emotional wake-up call ran even deeper. Since then, the once sun-loving star has transformed her lifestyle. She never leaves home without covering her skin, and now speaks openly about the importance of early detection. Her experience sends one message loud and clear: don't ignore the signs, they might be your only warning. Elizabeth Taylor. In 2002, Hollywood legend Elizabeth Taylor was diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common but still dangerous form of skin cancer. Fortunately, it was caught early, and after treatment, her doctors confirmed the cancer had been successfully removed. But this wasn't Taylor's first health scare. In 1997, she underwent surgery to remove a benign brain tumor, and throughout her life, she battled a cascade of serious conditions: pneumonia, spinal issues, and congestive heart failure. The illness that ultimately claimed her life in 2011 at the age of 79. Despite her private fight with cancer, Taylor never lost her drive to help others. She remained fiercely committed to humanitarian work, especially through the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, a cause she championed until the very end. Clint Eastwood. In 1997, Hollywood icon Clint Eastwood, known for his steely gaze and tough-as-nails persona, faced a very real, very human challenge: skin cancer. A small lesion on his left cheek turned out to be basal cell carcinoma, a common but potentially dangerous form of skin cancer if left untreated. Eastwood underwent surgery to remove the cancer, leaving a noticeable pinkish scar just under his left eye. For a time, he avoided cameras, uncomfortable with being photographed until the wound had healed. Though Eastwood never spoke publicly in detail about the ordeal, the story eventually surfaced, and it served as a quiet warning to others. At the time, it shocked fans used to seeing him as invincible. Now in his 90s, Eastwood continues to lead a disciplined life. Healthy eating, daily meditation, and outdoor caution are all part of his ongoing wellness routine. John Cena. In 2025, WWE legend and actor John Cena shocked fans with a deeply personal admission. He had been diagnosed with skin cancer not once, but twice. The first scare came during a routine skin exam when doctors found a cancerous spot on his right chest. Just a year later, another growth appeared near his shoulder. Both were surgically removed. But the wake-up call was loud and clear. Cena opened up about the years he spent under the sun, growing up in Massachusetts, then moving to Florida, without ever thinking twice about sunscreen. "I was very stubborn and thought it wouldn't affect me," he confessed. "But eventually it caught up with me." Determined to turn his mistake into action, Cena teamed up with Neutrogena for the Sunscreen You Can't See campaign, urging men in particular to take their skin health seriously. For someone known for toughness in the ring, this was a vulnerable moment that carried a powerful message. Behind every dramatic transformation lies a story steeped in struggle, survival, and the cruel price of fame. These haunting then and now moments are more than just a reminder that beneath the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, real people are facing battles that no camera can capture. They are living testament to the relentless pressure, the silent trauma, and the inevitable ravages of time. Every wrinkle, every scar tells a story of loss, of sacrifice. The life of a celebrity isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's a silent judgment. Which celebrity journey has surprised you the most? Share your thoughts. If you find these facts fascinating, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Ready for more secrets? Check out our next video and keep discovering the unexpected.